Good morning, all students. Today is the 15th lecture of CSP, that is Control System. In today's lecture, we are going to see in brief all the parts of PLC that we have studied in previous lecture. So as we know that there are major 5 parts are there: central processing unit, memory unit, input module, output module, and the power supply. So we'll see each unit one by one. So first unit is CPU, that is central processing unit. As we know that central processing unit is the heart of PLC. CPU controls, monitors, supervises all operation within PLC. So CPU makes the decision and executes control instruction based on the program instruction in the memory. So CPU can be operated in 3 modes. Programming mode, in which the processor allows the user to make changes in the program, including entry and editing. In second, that is run mode, the processor allows the user to execute the program which is loaded in it. And third is the remote mode. In this mode, the processor is placed in remote mode and user is allowed to edit the program and make changes in the program. It cannot erase the full program. It can just edit the program. This is the difference between programming mode and remote mode. So CPU also carries out the programmed instructions stored in the memory. The internal structure of CPU is shown in front of you, where you can see the CPU is connected to the memory and input output devices through the bus that is called as the highway of the CPU. So basically there are 3 highways: data bus, address bus, control bus. And most of you already know what is the meaning of or what is the function of all 3 bus. Data bus carries the data from and to memory and input output module. Address bus is used to select the location of memory or to select the input output module. And control bus is used to control the action, that is whether to write the data, whether to read the data. So we know the function of each bus. So this is the main function of CPU. Now the second unit is the memory unit. In this unit, as we know that memory unit contains 2 memory parts, that is data memory and the program memory. The main memory contains program memory, that is the instruction on which the CPU is going to execute the program. So the program memory contains the instruction which uses the data which is stored in the data memory. Getting? So program memory, data memory, 2 types of memories are there in memory unit. And the ladder diagram, that is the programming language of PLC, is stored in the PLC, that is memory of PLC. So the volatile and non-volatile, there are the 2 basic types of memories used in PLC. Non-volatile memories are generally used for storing the user program. So it is non-volatile, means whether the power supply is cut off, still the memory does not get erased automatically. And the volatile memory is used to store the data, that is whether the instruction uses that data, though the power is filled, still the program data is not recovered. So it is used for volatile memory. Then there are 2 types of memories are there: random access memories and read-only memories. Random access memory is used to store the temporary data, and read-only memory is used to store the program data. So in this way, the memory unit is divided in 2 parts: volatile, that is random access memory, and non-volatile, that is read-only memory. Now we'll see the power supply. So let me share first that diagram. So as you can see, this is the block diagram of power supply. We have already seen in basic electronics also that the conversion of AC supply to the DC supply. So it is something like that. AC input, that is your main supply. Step down transformer will down convert that AC supply. Then full wave rectifier will convert from AC to pulsating DC, and then filter network will convert to the pure DC, and voltage regulator will regulate the supply. That means it will keep the output voltage constant. Getting? So this step down transformer operates generally on 120 volt AC input, followed by the rectifier circuit to convert AC into pulsating DC, and then signal is filtered using filter circuit, and specific DC level is achieved by using regulated supply. So this regulated supply does not generate only single voltage. It can generate the variety of voltages like plus 24 volt, minus 24 volt, even 115 voltage, like that. So this power supply does not generate only a single polarity supply. It can generate variety of supplies because it is needful to input output devices. Getting? So this is your power supply unit, and then the input module. So input module is the mediator between the physical input devices as well as the PLC. Means it acts as a connection link between the physical input and the PLC. Okay, I will explain why that input module is designed such that. So there are many input devices such as limit switch, push buttons, manual switches, sensors, etc. So these input devices gives input to PLC, but input is not directly given to PLC. It is given to input module first, then it is given to the PLC. Now why this is so? Because input module performs many actions such as signal conditioning, because we know that if some analog supply is there, if that analog supply, as we know that PLC requires data in the form of digital manner, so that analog supply or analog input is converted in the form of digital input. So signal conditioning is required. Again, some sources generates the less voltage, so there is need of conversion from low level voltage to high level voltage. So signal conditioning means amplification takes place. So hence IO module acts as a signal conditioner, which converts the signal to or from PLC in such a way that signals can be handled by the PLC. Getting? As we know that, suppose microphone is there, microphone generates voltage in millivolt, but your processor or controller wants voltage near about 5 volt, so that voltage is increased using millivolt. So this is the first function of your input module. Then indication means, suppose if switches are connected, if that switch is off, then indication can be given to that switch. Suppose one lamp is there, if that switch is off, that lamp will be off. If that switch is turned on, then lamp will turn on. See, that lamp is not output device, it is a part of input device. Part of input device means lamp on आहे तर तो याचा अर्थ तो स्विच ऑन आहे, त्याचा स्टेटस ऑन आहे. जर लॅम्प ऑफ असेल तर तो स्विचचा स्टेटस ऑफ आहे. सो इट गिव्स द इंडिकेशन. द इनपुट मॉड्यूल मीन्स, सी, the switch can be 10 meter apart from the machine, but that input module is associated with the PLC. So that indication on PLC is given through the input module, that this particular input is on or off. Similar to your router which is in LAN. म्हणजे कुठला पीसी चालू आहे राउटर मध्ये ते पण आपल्याला कळतं की तो एलईडी ऑन असेल तर, तो एलईडी ऑफ असेल मीन्स काय, तो पीसी ऑफ आहे. So indication is one of the function of input module. Then termination, that input module provides proper termination to the input and output connectivity of the terminals, so to avoid any direct AC supply with the PLC. Means suppose you are directly giving the AC supply to as a input to the PLC. So this input module creates isolation between the direct input and the PLC, because if direct AC supply is given to PLC, that PLC will get damaged. So proper termination is provided by your input module, so that AC supply is not directly given to the PLC, so it provides termination. Then again, isolation. Input module consists of optocouplers. Optocoupler means what? Suppose 5 volt input is given, then that 5 volt input is not directly given to PLC. It is given to first LED, and then LED's rays are falling on opto device. It can be diode, it can be transistor. So that light is falling on opto device, and then it is again generating 5 volt. So it is providing actual electrical isolation. Means directly input is not connected to PLC. What your input module is doing? It is isolating the input and output. Getting? Termination means what? Direct AC supply is not given to PLC. And isolation means what? Actual input is not given to the PLC. So it is providing, suppose because of turning on and off of switches, some spikes are getting generated. That spikes may get connected with PLC. So to stop that, we have to provide isolation between input and output. So this is the function of input module. Then output module. Similar to input module, there is an output module. So this output module is connected with the PLC through the output modules. That means it functions as a medium that connects external output devices to the CPU. So that devices may be lamp, that devices may be motor, solenoid valves, indicators are there. Getting? So printers can be there, heating coil can be there, buzzers can be there, relays can be there. So we know that lamp, motor, solenoid valve, these requires high voltage, high current. So you cannot directly connect that to the CPU because you know that the sinking sourcing capacity of CPU is very less. So because of that, CPU will get damaged. So there should be the isolation between your output device and CPU, similar to input module. जसं इनपुट मॉड्यूल आयसोलेशन क्रिएट करतं तसं आउटपुट मॉड्यूल पण आयसोलेशन क्रिएट करतं. बट output module, there is no requirement of signal conditioning because output module directly generates the output status and CPU generates status of output, and output module will transfer that status to the output device. So external AC supply can be connected to motor because you know that CPU cannot drive motor. So it just acting as a on switch, so that AC supply is then connected to motor and motor turns on. So there is a requirement of isolation between that output device and CPU. So it is provided by the output module. Okay. So these important functions are provided by the output module, which is similar to the input module. Getting? Again, the programming device. The last thing, programming device, as I already discussed in last lecture, that whenever you are purchasing the new PLC, you can connect it to PC and you can program it. But if that PLC is fitted in some device, or suppose you are sold the system and that system is now very far from your destination, then what you'll do, you cannot carry PC to program it. So you will carry the handheld terminal. It is similar to your mobile or tablet. Getting? So that device is carried along with the along with you, and you can connect it using wire to the PLC. Then you can edit the program. What I'm telling you, you can edit the program. You cannot directly change the whole program. So again, what we discussed earlier also, that CPU can be placed in remote mode. In programming mode, total program is erased, new program is done. In run mode, program is executed, and in remote mode, the program can be edited or some new instructions can be added to it. So whenever remote mode you are using, so HHT is used to edit that program. So handheld terminal or dedicated terminal are programming devices commonly used for the most of PLC. So that's it. These are the main points which are to be covered in this lecture. So this is the control system lecture number 15. Thank you.